ever received one of these notices from the Social Security Department? Mr. Toastmaster, ladies and honored guests. I received this notice about 4 years ago, and I was shocked by a couple of things. Number one, it says that my retirement will only be $856 a month. My credit card bills alone are $5,000 a month. Number two, it says on the front page here, it says in just 14 years we will begin paying more in benefits than we collect in taxes. Without changes, the Social Security Trust Fund will be exhausted. Have you ever been really, really scared or nervous about your retirement money? If you could take a magic telescope and look into the future at your retirement account, and if you saw the number 0 as your balance, how would that make you feel? It's pretty scary to think about, isn't it? Well, I would like to share with you what happened to me 4 years ago after I got my Social Security statement. I went to go visit an investment manager, and I said, what am I going to do? This is not enough money for me to live on. What do you suggest I do? And he told me that I need to find a way to balance my portfolio. Now you may be thinking, what is he talking about, balance your portfolio? He gave me a piece of paper with these little charts on it. I'll pass it around, little pie charts. And if I'm a conservative investor, then I need to allocate 30% of my money to stocks. I need to allocate 49% of my money to bonds, and 15% of my money to cash, and 10% of my money to foreign stocks. And they gave me a list of all the different choices that I have. Well, I got completely overwhelmed by this. This is too crazy for me because stock markets are very volatile. They go up, they go down, they go back up again, and they go way down. And I know a lot of people who have lost their savings because of the stock market. Does that sound familiar to you? Do you know of anyone that lost a good portion of their savings because of the stock market? So I told the financial planner, no, I don't want to do any stocks. I do want to have a balanced portfolio. I want to have a secure retirement, but I don't want any stocks. And he said, I've got the perfect thing for you. I've got the perfect solution for you. But here's the thing, if you don't do anything at all, if you don't make any decision at all, your retirement account is going to slowly deteriorate because of inflation. It's going to chew away at your savings. But if you do make a decision to take some action, there are some instruments that you can invest in that will provide a safe and secure future. Well, what are you talking about? He said, I'm talking about an instrument called a stressed bond. A stressed bond. I said, what is a stressed bond? A stressed bond is a bond that you pay, for example, $700 for. You keep it for 4 years and it matures at $1,000, so you make a $300 profit. So it acts like a stock in a way, and you get a 7% interest rate every year. $300 profit in 4 years that you can anticipate, and you get 7% interest. So I said, that sounds like a great idea. So 4 years ago, I bought a stress bond, a General Motors bond. I believe I paid 75 cents on the dollar, and I put it in my account. I totally forgot about it. It's like I didn't even think about it. And it just kept paying interest and paying interest. Have you ever purchased something that you didn't have to worry about? It's like a savings account or like a CD. You don't even think about it. There's no volatility like stocks. And this month, it's going to mature. I'm going to get $1,000. And all of a sudden, I have to buy another one. So I'm doing my research. I contact the financial planner again, and I'm finding out, are there any more stress bonds available that I can buy? So in conclusion, your retirement is important to you. You want to have a safe and secure future. When you look at your Social Security statement, at the amount they're going to pay you, there might be nothing left in the government's bank account to pay you. What are you going to do? You've got to make some decisions today. These are hard decisions. But if you do some research and find yourself a good financial planner, you can discover some good ways to balance your account. You can try some of these instruments, they're volatile, or you can elect to look into stress bonds. Now, the only way to buy stress bonds is through a full-service broker. They're very sophisticated. And if you don't make the decision to secure your retirement future, you may find yourself without enough money to live on. You may find that inflation has eaten up your whole savings. And that's a very scary feeling, isn't it? That doesn't feel good to know that there may not be enough for you. But if you can make those hard decisions today, do your research. Get a relationship going with a financial planner. Then you won't have to worry about money in the future. And you will be glad you did. So don't delay. Make your decision today to take the next step. Meet your financial planner, get a strategy going, and make some decisions so that you can balance out your account and balance your future.
It's a great speech because I think the topic is relevant. It's also very interesting fact to know that the money is going to run out in 14 years. That's very shocking. So it grabbed my attention immediately. I also enjoy when you actually showing how you look through the telescope, and I can see you have very good body posture to make it very clear. And then also you're still looking with your audience, so you're still connecting to them to make sure they see the same view as you see through the telescope. I think that's great. And also, I think you also told a very good story about how you actually learned the fact from your financial advisor. You're actually going on and carry it out. One thing that it will make it even more exciting is that if you actually get that $1,000 and bring it to the table, that'll be even more exciting.
The cash?
Yes, cash. It may not come back.
Connie, I enjoyed a lot of things about this speech. I liked your bringing out the Social Security statement, which they've stopped mailing out except for people who are 25, I think, in order to save money. But since they did it for several years, I think we would all recognize it. I liked the visual aid you used for the stressed bond. It very clearly explained exactly what the words were, the kind of money you made. I thought that was great. I also thought you obviously were using the you. What would you think? What would you do? Which I loved as well. Some things I would suggest for you. You started out with Mr. Toastmaster, ladies, and honored guests. that kind of disses us on the Toastmaster thing. We are Toastmasters, and I think we should be addressed as such. Also, I'm not crazy about saying honored guest unless the guests are here literally to be honored. So otherwise I would say welcome guests. You asked the question, if you look into the future, and I did love that telescope, although I would suggest that the future is in that direction, so to your left. And you saw a balance of 0, how would this make you feel? I think that's kind of an obvious question because obviously people aren't going to do that. I would suggest you change it to, if you looked into the future and saw a balance of 0, would you know what to do to change that balance? And that's what you're telling us. A couple of the things I wondered about, what are the risks of stressed bonds and why are they called stress? Because just that name kind of worries me. Is this another word for junk bonds? Could I lose everything? You ended up saying in conclusion at about 6 minutes, and then you went on for another 2 minutes. I felt that was kind of a little too soon. You also talked about the danger of losing money, not having enough money for retirement. I think that should have been before the in conclusion.
Now is the time to find your balance. Connie, thanks for giving us a roadmap how we're actually going to be able to do that. Fellow Toastmasters, Connie did something really well to get our attention, and that is using the tease. The tease was great. She had a little part in there where she talked about something that she cared a lot about, she kind of hinted at what it was. You almost instantly revealed what that was. You're concerned about in the Social Security prop, but it was good to have a tease. Maybe stretch it out a little bit longer. Something really concerned about that shocked me, that I was surprised about, and talk a little bit longer so people wonder, what is it? Where is it? It's a great way to capture people's attention. And you had a prop, a great prop. That Social Security thing. Instantly, probably recognize it, or if not, you see Social Security at the top and it gets your mind thinking about that. And it's a great way. It also goes back to scary. We talk about it. Gets people thinking about that, what's going to happen, where is it going to happen. So it's good. It can pull people in that way. And he used the you, exactly as Shannon mentioned. He used the word you. You is so powerful, get people pulled in, get people involved, get people focused in on your story. Now, thoughts for development on this story is that at the beginning, I think you want to maybe have some places where you pause a little bit. Some places where you can pause and draw some things out. Pause is powerful. Especially if you ask a question and you're talking about people's retirement, pause a little bit. Give you a chance to reflect. If you pause, then the audience has a chance to think, oh, okay, where's this going to go? How is this going to happen? Another thing to think about is, in terms of a story, stories need to be seen, known, and heard. And I can see you, of course, but it's also helpful to be able to see the other person. So in that story, it would be really nice to see what that stock person looked like. Maybe he had glasses, and he was a very wise person I always trusted with. He always had good answers. Something like that. One thing world champion Darren LaCroix suggests is that you start out by giving a visual and an emotional. And maybe 2 visuals and 1 emotional. Something like that, just a way to describe things and understand what's going on. And then finally the conclusion. The conclusion is where you wrap everything up. You sum everything up, you really come to the point. My conclusion was good, could be better. When you're doing your conclusion, think about what's the last words you want your audience to hear. That's really what it's about. What's really going to stick with it? Finding your balance, don't become overbalanced. If you get out of balance, are you going to be in debt for the rest of your life? Something to leave them scared, a little bit more informed, a little more summing up all the things you're doing. So the conclusion was okay, but I think it could have been better. But there's one thing I certainly learned here is that it is important for me to find my balance right now.